What is your American dream?
My American dream is that, we have peace and equality for all. That we stop this border walls. Don't build walls, build bridges, as the Pope says. And I go along with what he says. That we open the doors to America, not just to special people.
I'm pursuing my dream that I've always had since I was a child and never could, which is to be a full-time musician. So I am living my dream.
I have my American dream. My father came here with $35 in his pocket. He died a millionaire, so that was my American dream.
My American dream. Take the lotto.
My American dream is to bring Little Italy back to what it was and to continue doing what we're doing.
I feel like my American dream is to be able to make art that represents all of America, not just the white middle to upper class America, so that people can see themselves represented and can see themselves as American and feel like everyone has a place here.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam!
Ooh, Sam, you scared me.
Hi, Brad.
What are you doing climbing under my desk?
Well, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Belgium Kim hasn't been here for a few weeks. And I was thinking, maybe I could take Kim's place until she comes back as the co-host.
Wait a second. First of all, Kim is back.
What?
Okay, and...
Oh, Kim is back.
Don't try to, slide into her seat. Will you try to take her job?
I would never. I can't wait to see her. I just thought if she wasn't going to be here, I would really fit in nicely between you and Yo-Yo.
No, you knew Kim was coming back.
I knew, but I didn't know when.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
I'm so excited.
Go say hello to her.
I will, but, what's going on with Lucky?
The dog?
Yeah, the dog.
What do you mean, what's going on with Lucky the dog?
She's been here a lot lately, and that's really making me freak out. I thought I was the only furry critter in this office.
No. Lucky's my dog, and you're my groundhog.
Yeah, but I feel like she gets better treatment than me.
What are you talking about?
She sleeps with you. I don't get to sleep in bed with you.
No, you sleep here.
I know, but I want to sleep in bed with you.
No, there's no groundhogs allowed in my bed.
Since when? That's a silly rule.
It's not a silly rule. Groundhogs are dirty animals.
Brad,
what?
I'm not dirty. I bathe all the time.
One second. Everything I've read about groundhogs is they're dirty. They're dirty animals. Even though you bathe all the time, you live under the ground, you eat sticks, you run around the dirt.
Okay, a little bit.
Okay, so you're not allowed. Groundhogs are not allowed in bed with humans. You know any groundhog that sleeps in bed with a human? You name one groundhog.
Not really.
Does Phil?
No.
Does Chuck? No.
Chuck doesn't.
No. What about your friend in Thailand?
Pimpa. I bet Pimpa's family lets her sleep with them. Yes,
Pimpa does not sleep with any humans.
Pimpa is perfect. I bet she does.
I know, but still, you live under the ground.
Dogs
don't live under the ground.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And also...
What?
I have to get my treats. I have to go outside. I have to buy my own pretzels. What's going on? I see you've got treats here for Lucky. She gets treats whenever she wants.
Wait a second. Don't we send you out to get a pretzel every day?
Well, yeah, but I gotta leave and everything. She just gets it handed to her. She doesn't have to go anywhere. Must be nice.
Well, we don't have a pretzel guy selling pretzels here in our office. But at the dog store, they sell dog treats. They don't sell groundhog treats.
I'm thinking maybe you should get a pretzel man in the office, in the conference room.
Okay, Sam, just worry about your own job. We love you. Don't worry about Lucky. Don't be jealous. Sounds like you're a little jealous.
I get jealous.
It sounds like you're very jealous.
I'm a bit jealous.
It sounds very, very jealous.
I'm very jealous.
Stop being jealous.
Okay.
Step out of it.
Ugh. Okay, fine. I'm going to go say hi to Kim. I'm so excited she's back, and I'll do the recap with Kim. Woo!
Thanks.
Okay. That Lucky, I'm still not sure about. Tell you, Brad Squad, I don't care what Brad says. I know he gives preferential treatment to Lucky. He even has these bags to clean up after her, to clean up her poop. I've never seen Brad do that for me. Kim. Hi, Groundhog Sam! Kim is back. Belgium Kim is in the house.
Good to see. Woo! Belgium Kim is in the house.
Brad told me you were back. I was going to ask if maybe I could sit in between him and Yo-Yo today, just not to take your place. I miss you so much. I don't know. I felt like maybe I was missing three's company on the desk. And now you're here. I'm so happy.
I saved you from the desk. desk, my love. Don't worry. I'm back. I missed you so much. You have to tell me everything I missed.
I will. In fact,
Tell me.
I've got a recap to do.
Tell me.
Okay, Kim. Well, I know you missed the last episode of Bradshaw Live.
Yeah.
So, Brad spoke to Morgan Simon. She's a registered financial educator who started Real Money Moves, which is a national initiative to show people how they can invest their money socially consciously without giving it to big banks who support private prison companies. Yup.
Oh, that's
You missed
really
that.
cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. You should go check it out.
I will definitely check that out. Can I see that on YouTube?
Absolutely.
Ah, awesome. Thanks, Groundhog Sam.
Kim, guess what else?
What else happened?
I'm really glad you're back.
Okay.
I'm having an issue with Lucky.
No.
I am. I feel like Lucky is around a little too much, and she's trying to replace me. I'm the one furry critter in the office, and I think that she gets preferential treatment for Brad. I'm wondering if maybe you could help me talk to him or something.
I'll totally talk to him, but you know that you're the only groundhog in Brad's heart. He could never replace you.
Well, that's true, but I'm also the only groundhog he really knows, so.
Yeah, no competition there.
That's
No worries, not even from Lucky. Lucky does not have nearly the personality you have, but don't tell her I said that, okay?
I won't. But really, who does have the personality I have, Kim?
No
Really?
one. No one. That's why you're my favorite groundhog.
Now I get to do my next favorite part of my job.
What's that?
And now is the time you've all been waiting for. It's Bradshaw Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-host Belgium Kim, who's back finally, yay! And Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, enjoy! Oh, Kimmy. Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Monday, March 25th, 2019. Bradshaw Live. Don't worry, Sam is okay. We've all had a talk with him. He knows he's loved, right? And you know who also is loved? Belgium Kim. Welcome back, Belgium Kim.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Oh my God, it feels so good to be back.
Yes, we missed you. We
Different
missed you.
camera.
And Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, welcome back from the weekend.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It was a great weekend.
Yeah,
actually.
I see. And you got here very early for work today.
I did.
He
I
was here
by
like
12.
He was here at 12 o'clock, ready to go. I go, Jonathan.
Ready.
I go, Jonathan, the show doesn't start for 5.5 more hours. You got your. He goes. I just want to put a little extra makeup and stretch.
All of that.
Right, but you don't
Curl
put
my
any. You
hair.
don't put any makeup on for the show.
Curl
You're
my
natural,
hair and
right?
all that. Yeah.
Well, natural.
You guys, I spritz every once in a while. I spritz you guys.
Yes.
Well, you're entitled. You're a woman.
It's
You're
not
entitled
considered.
to do it.
It's not considered makeup, but I do spritz Jonathan down every once in a
Yeah.
while.
You get a spritz?
You didn't get. You got a
you
spritz
didn't-
before.
you
I don't get any spritzes.
You did not
Remember?
get a spritz today.
Not
No.
today.
But
But you
you've
should
got
see it. I was chasing Belgium Kim with a Lysol can.
No
Actually,
wonder,
today.
because it smells.
Yeah, I was
Like
chasing her,
a lot,
and I was like
A lot.
literally chasing her around the studio with the Lysol can about 10 minutes
I was
while we were
like,
waiting to start our show.
10 mere minutes ago.
Yes.
It's true. We're
Anyways,
dying.
I got to say hello to the squad who we missed for the last 3 days. We were not on the air on Friday. Belgium Kim, Tamika Nelson, Pauline Williams, Lisa Bling Rose, Jasmine McDonald's, Ma Dukes, Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Squad up to all of you. Sisha, did Sisha Missiles change her name? She used to be Cece.
She's been Cece. She's been
Sisha?
Sisha.
whatever she feels.
Whatever, she's
Yeah,
Mitchell.
She's Mitchell.
Ms. Mitchell.
Boom.
See Mitchell.
Ms. Mitchell.
Ms. Mitchell.
Ms. Mitchell. Lisa
Ms.
Bling
Mitchell,
Rose, how
that's
you doing? Fadi El Abid, how are you? Javel. Finklin, squad up. Ma Duke says hi. Tamika. Jessica Leamy. Joelle says squad up. Loves to everybody. Dionne Watson. Who else we have here? Who have we seen in a while? Simone Johnson says Honorable Brad has a question. Starts with Honorable Brad.
Honorable Brad.
I would
Oh, man.
I would ask the question, but Jonathan will literally smack me upside the head
He's-
Don't do that
if I
anyway.
start answering questions during saying hello to everybody.
He's absolutely right. Wait, has he
It screws
gotten...
everybody up. Yep.
Yes. It screws up our
I
whole
heard
order.
it. Abigail Taylor Watson.
I got it on
says the sweater makes you look younger, Brad. Gray is
Oh.
definitely your color.
Oh my God.
It is a really nice
Is it the
light
gray
gray.
hair or the gray sweater?
It's the fact that they match.
It's the fact that everything matches on my body,
Maybe that's what
including
it
my
is.
hair.
I don't. There is something about you that looks particularly
little glow.
refreshed.
I'm very
Yeah.
sad about my gray hair.
Why?
I don't know. It gets grayer and grayer every day.
I can't wait to be a salt and pepper
I was
zaddy.
gonna say that's
No,
that's
you don't want to be.
I have like
salt and pepper
one piece of gray
No,
hair.
you
I
don't
was
want
like,
it. You don't want it. Enjoy your dark locks while you have them.
You can
Kennedy
have them, too.
Roy, how are I can, but I would have
Just
to.
dye
I would
them.
have to dye it every 3 weeks.
we can do it for you.
and then
We can
everybody
make it
would
a
be
dye
like,
party.
Brad, why are you gray one day and then you have black hair the next and then back to gray? You're all over the place.
well, you're not. You don't go from like black to gray.
You
There's
gotta
an
slowly do it so
ease.
nobody realizes.
Right.
Now I've screwed up because I've told everybody.
Yeah, right.
Right? And then one day I'm gonna start getting dark and everyone's gonna realize it.
I don't know. I had a success putting a bald cap on you. I feel like I would have success giving you some highlights.
I don't know. It's just
Highlights?
I look at myself lately and I'm like, I'm getting gray. I used to not be as gray. If you look back like a year ago,
Yeah.
I was not gray. Look back at a picture a year ago. It's just like it happened overnight.
I don't know. I feel
don't know.
like
Happened
I'm digging.
overnight?
I'm digging the look, Brad.
like it.
Marjorie
I
Thompson,
do.
how are you? And Dawn Harriet, what's going on? Allie Bacani has a question. I will not answer it now.
Thank you.
Because Yo-Yo
Soon.
will hit me upside the head.
Yes. I really have to.
Cordella Douglas, he said it. He said it to me. He goes, listen, man, you start answering questions again during the he said it to me off air. So I'm just going to smack you upside the head if you start doing that again.
Kim, you
Thank
Actually,
you.
The man threatened me with violence.
And he should have. I would have doubled
The
down
man
with
threatened
him
me with violence.
had I been here.
Ramona Hazel says it's the color of the shirt
That brings out.
that brings it out. I don't know.
It is
Wait,
like
that
gray
makes
and
you look
white.
younger?
It does look nice.
I don't know. I haven't.
You look
looked
very
up today.
refreshed.
Well, thank you. I love all the compliments. It
You
just
do.
makes my ego feel better.
Yes.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Gray is also not
Right.
normally a color you sport.
I usually do
Blue.
blue. But
Yeah,
now
you're
maybe I'm
blue.
going to do
Maybe that's
gray.
why.
But Abigail says gray's my color.
There you go.
I mean, I like gray.
Maybe.
I feel like it looks good.
Maybe.
You look distinguished.
I don't know. On YouTube, we can't forget YouTube. Back It Up Rookie says, good evening, everyone. Simone Garraway says, good afternoon. I guess Simone is in a different time zone than Back It Up Ricky. Danny Contreras, how are you? Mohammed Tankara said he was patiently waiting for your show. It's my favorite daytime show. The best is always cheers. It is his favorite daytime show.
Love that.
Right.
Ooh,
Better
are
than
we
any
considered-
news.
Yeah.
Better than any judge.
Fair.
Better than any desk show, where they bring out the
Late night
stars.
show.
Okay, it's what?
Late night show.
No, he said daytime.
Oh.
It's not his favorite all-time show. Let's not get carried away. But we are his favorite daytime show.
Better than Ellen and Wendy Williams.
Better than Ellen, better than Wendy Williams, better than Dr. Phil, better than Dr. Oz.
Woo.
Better than Judge Joe Brown.
So a
I
lot
was
of
gonna say
daytime
Judge
shows.
Judy is really
Right,
my
Judge
queen.
Judy, People's Court. He's
Right.
better than everything. At least
agree.
according to Muhammad.
Wait, Ava Primus Ellis Lewis just said it's sexy. I don't know what she's referring to, but I think it might be your sweater.
Wow. I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
I you know what?
Tell me.
Saks Fifth Avenue is open late tonight.
He's about to go
And they
get
have a
everything
50%
gray.
discount. I am going into the men's department at Saks Fifth Avenue, and I go, show me the discount rack and give me gray.
Give me all the gray. I think it's a good idea.
And Carol, the Top Cat Tigress to Anderson, said hello. Who else is here? Shanique Myers says, welcome back, Kimmy. Princess Black saying hello. Yulette Wilson says, hey, Brad, happy Monday. Moose G.
Moose G.
Is that new?
Moose G.
Moose G.
You know what? I
Who's
haven't
Moose
seen
G? And who's he talking to? Because he's responding to Ola
Rotimi.
Yeah, she says, I go all the time.
He's responding to her immigration question that we'll be answering during our social media check-in segment.
All right, and of course, Ancella Ingram, Bevan Smith, and Danette Gray Downer. Welcome everybody. We gotta start our show right now, although it's probably already started, at least 10 minutes. That's
true.
And Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, as we don't have lots of people watching now, it's an okay amount. Can you tell people what they can do to help us, help them, help us?
Help themselves.
Help themselves?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Now on Facebook It is super simple, you guys. We want you to tell us how you're feeling, and we want you to tell us in detail how you're feeling in those comments. Oh, that's a neat little graphic. Things that happen.
Right. By the way, Belgium Kim, Tamika Nelson saying, "Love your hair color."
Ooh,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, keep it going now. I just want to give you a compliment
I'll take
too.
it. Thank you.
If Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias gets a compliment, I'll throw it in there too. Keep telling people how to share.
You're also going to share it into people's inboxes. So when you hit that share button, you're going to do it as a message, and you're going to be hitting people up that you're members of groups that you're in that messaging, or all of your friends that you haven't talked to in forever. This is a great reason to hit them up and be like, "Yo, I got free immigration advice and a really, really funny show." Yo, what do they do on the YouTube?
On the YouTube, you guys already know. Please, we love your interaction there as well. We love when you guys comment. Let us know what you feel. If you're laughing, if you're sad, if you agree, disagree, whatever it is, let us know in the comments. And also, we have to have you guys share. All you have to do is click that little link. It says the link, copy link, and you send it in a text blast or a WhatsApp group. You can make a group very easy, and it's easy to just copy and paste it into your WhatsApp group. Send it as a blast, and we need everybody to also subscribe and like the video right now if you're watching, especially on YouTube. Press that thumbs up, all right?
And I also want my people on Facebook, thank you, Yo-Yo. I also want my people on Facebook to hit that follow and that little bell to make sure that you get notified every single time we go live on our brand new Facebook page, Bradshaw Live/Spar Bernstein. You can find it. We know you can find it. And now, we're getting into that time.
Schmoozing with Brad.
You gotta say it.
Because Yo-Yo doesn't know how to say it, so he
I'm
doesn't.
saying it now.
He's schmoozing. He can't.
I always be like schmoozing.
Yeah, I don't know. He can't.
Schmoozing.
We will never be able to teach Yo-Yo Yiddish.
This is a problem you guys have literally been having for 3 weeks.
3 weeks now.
And I have to say it every single time. That's why I was looking at you.
Belgium Kim, our two biggest problems.
Yeah.
Before we get into schmoozing.
Yeah.
Was Yo-Yo can't say schmoozing.
Okay.
And on Hump Day Wednesday, it was really uncomfortable between two men talking about penises. Okay. It was really uncomfortable. Yo-Yo had to be on the opposite side of the desk. I'm like, don't even be an arm's length, distance from me, you know?
I gotta be honest, I tuned in
You
for
did.
one of the hump days.
It was very uncomfortable.
And I loved how uncomfortable it was. I was just like, they are squirming, and I love it.
All right, so meanwhile, after 2 years, 3 days after President Trump won the election in 2016, people started clamoring that it was a fixed election, that perhaps the Russians collaborated, colluded, cooperated. There was some sort of agreement between Donald Trump and the Russians to help him become the president of the United States. He was, in fact, what we believed here at Bradshaw Live, and at least 60% of Americans believe, the Manchurian candidate, which is somebody who's being controlled by an outside foreign entity, who is president of the United States of America. And after millions and millions of dollars, over 10,000 tweets by Donald Trump, turns out the damn guy's right. I was like, damn.
Yeah. That is a damn.
That was a damn. That is a damn. Apparently, Robert Mueller found absolutely no evidence that President Donald Trump or any of his aides coordinated with the Russian government in the 2016 election interference. Now, we have to be very clear what he found. There was an internet trolling company called the Internet IR something or other. And they were making fake advertisements on Facebook, on YouTube, what you're watching right now, perhaps even Instagram. And they were disseminating false information about Hillary Clinton in favor of Donald Trump. That, for a fact, happened. The Russians interfered in our election.
Absolutely.
For a fact, it happened. During the election, Donald Trump was saying, whoever's doing these WikiLeaks and whoever's coordinating to help Hillary Clinton, please keep it going because you're helping me. But they actually found that there was no link. There was no agreement. There was no communication where there was a handshake or any sort of agreement where Donald Trump or anybody associated with his campaign had an agreement with any Russians to actually do it. It was kind of just being done in a shadowy way, and Trump was kind of encouraging it. But for there to be a criminal act, there had to have been an agreement between Trump that, hey, Putin, you help me, I help you.
Right.
Okay? There was none of that. Okay? That's what Mueller found. Okay? He also found, and he cautioned, okay, that while this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, I'm quoting this, it also does not exonerate him on obstruction of justice. Now, obstruction of justice could be that he prevented somebody from learning the truth in connection with an ongoing criminal proceeding.
Right.
And that is iffy. We don't know exactly the facts because it hasn't come out yet. But what has to be proven for obstruction of justice is that you prevented a fact finder from learning the truth, and that has to be in connection with an ongoing or future proceeding, meaning some sort of criminal investigation. Now, Trump absolutely prevented people from learning the truth.
Right.
But according to Attorney General Barr, he said there was no nexus between what Trump did and any official proceeding. So basically Trump lied, but there was no connection between him lying and preventing Mueller from finding out truths and some sort of criminal proceeding.
Right.
Now, we don't know all of the facts yet. That's what Attorney General Barr concluded.
Right.
Okay, we have to see the facts that back it up. We haven't seen that report out. They say maybe they're going to dedact some information. We don't know what President Trump wrote in a letter to Mueller explaining why he did and said what he did.
Right.
Hopefully that ultimately will come out. Now, that also doesn't mean that Trump never committed a crime. All it means is that he did not have an agreement with the Russians to coordinate the election campaign against Clinton in favor of Trump.
Right.
That doesn't mean that Trump didn't go to Moscow and try to negotiate for a hotel deal and put Putin in a penthouse for $50 million in return for some other something or other.
Right.
Perhaps, there's a lot of criminal investigation going on that basically Trump is just basically enriching himself as the president of the United States. Those investigations are going on. So maybe he didn't collude. Maybe there was obstruction of justice, and perhaps the obstruction of justice is that he didn't want Mueller to find out that he's actually enriching himself at the expense of the American people. He's basically, making money as the president of the United States, which you can't do. You're not being a public servant. Maybe that's why he was obstructing justice. We don't know. They concluded he didn't. We don't know all the facts yet, but there's certainly more investigation to go. In the meantime, on Twitter, Donald Trump says, no collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration, keep America great. Now, Yo-Yo, I walked into the social media room this morning before you came here at noon, and I said, damn it, somebody had to be colluding with the Russians. If it wasn't Trump, and I made an announcement, it was me. I did it. No, I didn't do it.
I was saying, wait, what?
He did.
It's breaking news?
Yes, it was breaking news. I said, somebody had to be it. Why can't it be me? No, it wasn't me. So, it's also important to note that before Barr's confirmation, his son-in-law, Tyler McGahey, resigned from his position at the Justice Department to accept a job in the White House Counsel's Office, where he's going to advise the president on who can help participate in the hearings with the Democrats, what documents to provide.
My God.
So there's a lot of back and forth. In the meantime, Nancy, who I love,
We
Nancy
love
Pelosi,
Nancy. Yeah.
and Chuck Schumer said Barr's letter raises as many questions as it answers. The fact that Mueller's report does not exonerate the president on a charge as serious as obstruction of justice demonstrates how urgent it is that the full report and documentation be made public. The real key thing is what people and the media is missing, is just because there was no direct agreement. That's what you needed. A conspiracy is an agreement to commit a crime.
Right.
There was no agreement between Putin and Trump for Putin to make all of these Facebook advertisements against Hillary in favor of Trump, which was basically fake news.
Right.
Just because there was no, they use the word collusion, but the real criminal term is conspiracy to commit a crime. You make an agreement to commit a crime. Just because there was no agreement to commit a crime doesn't mean that's the only crime that Trump may have committed.
Right.
Okay, Mueller was only investigating this particular issue. Did Trump have an agreement with Putin to put these fake ads on Facebook denigrating Clinton, making stories up about Clinton to put Trump in the White House?
Right.
It doesn't mean that there was a lot of other financial back dealings that are still being investigated.
So I've got a question for you in terms of Mueller's report, and in terms of, I thought that Mueller was investigating any and all ties that Trump could possibly have to Russia. Isn't him promising a penthouse while he's both running for office
that's conjecture.
and
We don't know.
office?
We don't know if that's a fact. That's conjecture. That's what we were told by the news.
But
we haven't seen anything factual about that.
Do we know if that's part of what Mueller investigated?
We don't know. The report hasn't come out yet. But whatever Mueller found that was not on point to his investigation of did Trump have an agreement with Putin to place these Facebook ads that were made-up ads to try to persuade people not to vote for Hillary Clinton and to vote for Donald Trump. Basically fake news ads on Facebook. That's what his job was. And he said, no, there was no agreement. Okay, he found a lot of other stuff, and what he did was he referred it out to the Southern District of New York, which is where Donald Trump's business is and where his home is, which is right here in Manhattan, for investigation. We don't know. We know they're investigating a lot of different other crimes. Trump University. We know they're still investigating about this Moscow hotel thing. We don't know how many other crimes they're investigating. So anything that wasn't related to did Trump conspire, have a conspiracy, an agreement with Putin to place these ads on Facebook? Everything else that he discovered, he sent out to the Southern District, including the Michael Cohen thing with Stormy Daniels. Okay, and Mueller didn't bring a prosecution against Michael Cohen. It was the Southern District of New York. So we don't know what else they're investigating. Meanwhile, sadly, there's ongoing, people don't talk about this, and it's now coming up in the news again. 3 people committed suicide this week that were related, they were survivors of school shootings.
School shootings,
a male sophomore at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida where 17 people were killed in a mass shooting last year, took his life on Saturday. Apparently he was suffering post-traumatic stress from the shooting. It is the second suicide this week. It was a copycat suicide, which happens a lot, with another student from the same high school, Sydney Aiello, who was a recent graduate. She took her life last week. Both were suffering and saying, why did they survive and other people die? Oh my God. Also, which I don't believe is a coincidence because suicides are always copycatted. The body of Jerry Richmond was found in his Connecticut office. He was the father of Aviel Richmond, who was among 20 children and 6 adults who got killed in the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in Connecticut. He actually sued, I don't know if we have it in here or not, a conspiracy theorist, I forgot his name, for saying that that the whole entire shooting was made up. Okay, when in fact it was not. So Dr. Kelly Posner Gerstenhaber, a psychiatry professor at Columbia University, who helped lead a suicide prevention event in Parkland last year, has developed a protocol of questions that anyone, not just medical professionals, can ask to identify people. It is definitely preventable, she emphasized, but it requires ending the stigma surrounding depression and mental illness and not waiting for people who are hurting to speak up on their own. The Broward County Public Schools brought in counselors and therapy dogs for Stoneman Douglas students immediately after the shooting, but those crisis services are now over. But there is these things affect people for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
You don't hear about it. Everybody who was in, all these children who are involved in school shootings, it affects them for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Just like a divorce would affect you.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is to a nth degree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, so you know they survived a school shooting. Okay, but they also, you know, they were getting called out by a lot of people on social media when they were saying, you know, gun control, if you remember too.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people saying that they were being crisis actors,
Right.
that they were taking advantage of the national
Right.
spotlight. Just disgusting comments that came out after that against these kids.
And the United States has done absolutely nothing to prevent additional school shootings. They've done absolutely nothing to help people overcome the mental illness from witnessing school shootings, from having the why them not me going through their head. You know, your emotion is so much stronger than your logic.
Yeah.
Okay? And once emotion overtakes logic, and we hear it a lot even in our telephone calls with, you know, I start giving therapy, marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Okay? It's always your emotion overtakes your logic.
Yes.
You know, like, you know, like I think the last time I'm like, well, you can leave. Go.
Yeah.
Why you have to stay?
Yeah.
You know? So sometimes emotion overtakes logic, and unfortunately this is what happens.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, we have a president who does nothing about it. Meanwhile, in New Zealand, where they're a little smarter, there was a shooting. 50 people were killed in a mosque.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, unlike the United States of America, has announced that every semi-automatic weapon will be banned from the country.
That's
She announced
amazing.
I'm reading it now. Every semi-automatic weapon used in the terrorist attack on Friday will be banned, including all military-style assault rifles, high-capacity magazines. And there will be 3 years in prison and a $4,000 fine in New Zealand for anybody who has,
That's fantastic.
Why? Jill is asking me why.
This is the good question.
That is a very good question, Jill. I'm gonna ask everybody out there.
Right.
Why can New Zealand do this after 6 days? The United States can't do it after, I don't know, how many mass shootings?
20 years.
20 years of mass shootings?
Columbine.
Yeah.
The 90s.
Why?
I did see.
We have a lot of people who love guns in this country. That's why.
I saw it weeks ago and I couldn't find it for today, but I saw a tweet that was like, did they even try thoughts and prayers? Like New Zealand bans guns.
Right.
Did they try thoughts and prayers to solve their gun problem?
Thoughts and prayers are always
How
good,
could
right?
they?
Yeah.
We've been trying that for 20 years.
So, meanwhile, more sad news for the Democrats. Michael Avenatti, who was, this is just really bad. It's just all around bad.
So does it surprise
It's so disappointing. Michael Avenatti, who is Stormy Daniels' lawyer,
right?
Who we thought was going to bring down the Trump presidency, himself has been brought down.
Right.
Stormy Daniels has fired Michael Avenatti, called him a thief, and now Michael Avenatti has been arrested for trying to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Avenatti, he shot to fame being Stormy Daniels' lawyer. He was taped on the phone yelling at a person who worked for Nike, one of Nike's lawyers, basically trying to threaten him that if Nike didn't pay $20 million, he was going to go to the media, badmouth Nike, and take $10 billion off their market cap, which is the value of their stocks. The conversation came a day after Avenatti met with Nike's lawyers and threatened to release damaging information if the company didn't pay off Avenatti and an unidentified co-conspirator. The charges were revealed just minutes after Avenatti, who recently even flirted with becoming president of the United States, tweeted that he would be holding a Tuesday morning news conference about a major high school college basketball scandal perpetrated by Nike that we have uncovered. So we don't know what they uncovered.
It's just...
But he got arrested. But you know what? Maybe he did uncover something. You know, a lot of this is political. You don't think a lot of this is political?
It could be.
Yeah, but the thing is that if it is political, you don't call the person that is the other party and be like, if you pay me $20 million, this goes away. I don't know. Is that a typical lawyer practice?
I don't know. Meanwhile, in California, he has another criminal case against him. He allegedly stole $1.6 million settlement and spent the cash on personal expenses and debts to run his law firm from a client. And he's also accused of defrauding a bank in Mississippi by using fake tax returns to borrow $4.1 million, even though he never filed a tax return for the years in which he submitted for his bank loan.
Wow.
Yes.
See, I've always gotten that vibe from him.
Okay. Meanwhile, did you see? I always wanted to go to Norway, but now I don't know if I want to go to Norway after what I saw on this cruise ship. There was a cruise ship that got stuck. Did you see this?
No.
Okay. All right. There was a cruise ship that got stuck in Norway. There was almost a Titanic situation. All the engines broke. It started drifting towards rocks.
Oh my God!
They had no power whatsoever, and was caught in 26 foot waves.
Oh no!
They brought in helicopters. They thought the boat was going to crash against the rocks. They brought in helicopters to evacuate people, mostly elderly people. They were picked from the helicopters in a huge storm on a boat that was traveling through 26-foot waves with no power, heading towards the rocks. 400 of the 900 people on board, plus an additional 500 crew. So it's 1,400 people on board. They got 400 off one by helicopter when, and there's the rocks, when they were able to get the engines going, and with the help of tugboats, got the boat out of the stormy water and back to shore.
Oh my God!
Now, Norway's Accident Investigation Board, a guy by the name of Kurt Olsen, said, "We don't know the reason why the ship sailed, knowing such bad weather was forecast. Which was what I was thinking. I'm like, why would the ship go?
Yeah.
We have a very good weather service in this country, so I guess the crew knew everything about the forecast. How they responded will definitely be part of the investigation. The crew issued the Mayday call, and a team of helicopters lifted 500 of the 1,400. The ship drifted within 100 meters of running aground.
Oh my God.
And then if it ran aground, it would have sunk.
Oh.
And turned over with everybody on board. Can you imagine being on a cruise ship? I mean, you'd think, okay, that's like the safest thing in the world.
Not me.
Okay. And
I can't do cruise ships. After Titanic.
Really?
Really?
1912.
That was over 100 years ago.
It's April 12th, 1912. You're right.
Yeah.
I actually love a good cruise. I've been on a cruise. I love a cruise, but it wasn't Titanic that scarred me. It was the Poseidon Adventure. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes. That with Gene Hackman.
With Gene Hackman.
And he's the thief.
Right.
But
But it doesn't matter that he's a thief because he tries to be a hero.
Damn, I was scared of high buildings. I saw the Towering Inferno in the 1970s.
And you were
the whole building was on fire. And then I was terrified to go to California for a long time because of the movie Earthquake.
That's fair. All those reasons are fair.
I remember that.
What?
I remember that movie.
And I'm terrified to go anywhere in a tropical desert thinking I'm going to be eaten by dinosaurs.
I'm a little
because of Jurassic Park.
Now you're taking it too far,
Right.
Brad.
Yes. I'm terrified to get into a car because I think it's going to turn into an alien and stop on me.
Did you watch Transformers
Yes.
this weekend?
Meanwhile, a Chinese buyer has bid over $1.4 million for a racing pigeon. It is the most expensive pigeon ever to exchange hands. $1.4 million. The Chinese buyer bid. It is a prize Belgian. That's why we're talking about it, because it's a prize Belgian in honor of Belgian Kim coming back. It's a prize Belgian racing pigeon in an unprecedented sale. The pigeon, whose name is Armando, is considered yes, he is the best long-distance racing pigeon of all time. The bird has been dubbed by some the Lewis Hamilton of racing pigeons in reference to the Formula One racing driver. The price spike came in the final hours of bidding. The price went from $600,000 to $1.4 million in an hour. Somebody came in and says, "I need Armando, the Belgian champion." You believe that?
Oh my God!
All right, Kim, you are now known. You are now known for waffles, beer, and pigeons.
And pigeons.
And pigeons.
Wait, so
Oh,
a racing pigeon?
pigeons.
Does that imply that there are pigeon races?
Yes, it is very popular in China. In Sanyan, the Deputy General Secretary of the Beijing District Racing Pigeons Association, it actually exists. So at least 100,000 pigeon breeders are living in Beijing, and almost 90,000 of them are registered with Racing Pigeons Associations. There are racing pigeons all over China. Okay? I don't know what a pigeon race would look like, but
How do you make sure it goes to the next
I don't
point?
know. Don't fly away! They're flying the wrong way. Do pigeons even fly, or are they like turkeys?
Yes.
No, they fly. fly.
They
Pigeons
fly.
You see pigeons. You live in New York City.
That's
you
right.
See
That's very
fly all
true.
the
Yes, pigeons do fly.
Did they used to use pigeons for like
carrier
mail?
pigeons? Yeah.
So then you got to train them to fly in the right direction. Like, damn it, the other way, pigeon!
and how do you know who won?
I don't know. I'm going to tell you something. I was at a Formula One race, all right, and I couldn't figure out who won, all right, and there wasn't even a pigeon. There was cars going around in a circle, and I'm like, wait, somebody just won? I don't understand. How are we going to figure out pigeons?
Can we also talk about the fact that the pigeon's name is like
Armando?
a Hispanic heartthrob?
Yes,
like
Armando.
he's on the cover next to Bobby. Oh wow!
Wow!
Pigeon racing, the complete pigeon racing guide.
Apparently, it exists. All right, so we got to get to our immigration questions. It's already 6:30. Welcome back, Belgium Kim. Quickly tell everybody to share and let them know we're going to be answering their immigration questions in about 60 seconds.
All right, Facebook fam, I'm going to handle you guys for right now. All you have to do is first share this show into a bunch of private messages with all of your friends, especially people you haven't hit up in a while. Just be like, hey, what's going on? Check out this show in a private message. And we're also going to want you to like, clap, be sad, anything you want, react to what we're talking about, and tell us what you're thinking in the comments. And make sure that you like and follow our page and hit that little bell so you get a notification every time we go live, because sometimes it's not exactly at 5:30 p.m. So don't sit around and wait, just get a notification. And here's what you're gonna do on YouTube.
All right, on YouTube, what you're gonna do is you're gonna also interact. We wanna know exactly what you guys are thinking, how you guys feel, but most importantly, we need you guys to share. Please share the video right now. There should be a little link, a button with a little link. It says copy link, and you can share it to your social media, but you can also share it in a WhatsApp group. Let's make a group text, all right? Anybody that you might think might benefit from this or just be entertained from it, I want you guys to make sure you send this video out to them, but also like it right now and of course subscribe so you know when we go live. And now what we're gonna do next is you're gonna call and Brad is gonna answer your immigration questions with Getting Answers. Call with your immigration questions.
Wow, you said it right! How'd you say that right?
Is that a thing we're doing now?
Yeah, he's saying it right
We're
all the
saying
time
it
now.
right?
All the time now.
Man. Wait, I did want to shout out one person really quickly.
Yes.
Jessica Kalimi answered our question.
Which was what?
Which was, how come New Zealand can ban semi-automatic weapons the day after this happens? She says, because they've got a leader and we got a tweeter.
I like that.
100% right.
I like that. I never heard that before.
I know.
That sounds good. I like that one.
Also, Kafui Praise said that they have scorpion fights in Morocco in the same vein as pigeon racing.
I don't know. I was in Morocco. I didn't see any scorpion fights.
No scorpion fights?
But I do have a picture of me with a monkey climbing all over me in Morocco.
Wow.
That's basically the same thing.
And I wore a camel in Morocco.
Okay.
They had camel racing.
Okay.
Monkeys jumping all over the place, but I didn't see any scorpion fighting.
No scorpion fights.
No.
Well,
lucky you.
You're going to have
Lucky
to go
me.
back to Morocco.
All right, let's go to, we have Kim waiting for almost 40 minutes here. Kim, how are you?
I'm fine. You?
Good, good. What can I do to help you?
Okay, I filed a petition late 2017 for I-130, I-485, and I-765.
Right.
We received the work permit and stuff like that. Now, we got denied for the I-485, but approved for the I-130.
Okay,
So now I understand that I need to do a 601 waiver.
I don't know. The I-130, the approval means that they approved your marriage. You're in a bona fide marriage, but they said you're inadmissible to the United States. So now that's why the I-485 was denied. Why do you need to do a waiver? Why did they say you were inadmissible?
Because of the entry.
Because of your entry. How did you come to the United States?
On
somebody else's name?
Cruise?
Working on a cruise ship?
Yes.
Okay. And when you worked on a cruise ship, you came on a C1, D1 visa?
Right.
Okay. So if you work as a crew member, you're ineligible to adjust your status. So you waited 2 years for nothing. So now your I-130 is approved. You need to do what's called the provisional waiver, the I-601A, because you're ineligible to adjust. And then you got to be able to go home and come back. That's what needs to happen now. And I would suggest because it's basic immigration law to know that you were ineligible to adjust, that you at least consult with an attorney to do your waiver. It's not filling out a form. If it was easy as filling out a form, I would not have a show. I would not have a law firm. I would be selling real estate.
The thing is, I have an attorney, and I want to know if I should change it because
if your attorney didn't know that you were out,
I feel like I'm being neglected.
Kim, it's not being neglected. They committed malpractice. If your attorney doesn't know that a person who comes on a crewman's visa is ineligible to adjust, that attorney doesn't know immigration law. All right? So it's not neglected, okay? That is basic 101 immigration. That's not advanced immigration. That's basic immigration. How do you switch lawyers?
Would I?
And I'm not telling you got to hire me. You can hire me. I'm not telling you have to. But this is very simple how you do it. You go see a lawyer that you feel comfortable with, and you tell the lawyer, write my other lawyer a letter, say you're fired and I'm hired. You don't even have to call him.
And that's it.
That's it.
Because I'm to that point now where I'm depressed, I'm stressed, and I can't take anymore.
All right. So unfortunately for you, I can't change the past, but I think I could make the future better. So hold on one second, all right?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I mean, a lawyer should know crewman's visa.
Yeah.
I learned that my first week of being an immigration lawyer.
Oh, wow.
I learned that the first week of working on this show.
Really?
Yeah.
You know crewman?
Crewman's visa.
You can't adjust.
It's one of the only things you can't adjust.
Correct.
You can't adjust
You know
it.
that.
Yeah.
Right? You know that from the radio days.
Yeah, I sure do.
Belgian Kim, I think you should go to work as a fake lawyer somewhere until you get arrested.
I was just about to say, I'll be happy to screw up everybody's immigration cases.
All right. Let's go to Hazel in Hewville, Maryland. Hazel. 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 It's the color of my eyes. Hazel. That's the color of my eyes. Right.
This is true.
It's very true. That's what Hazel and I have in common. Her name is my color. But she's not answering.
Yeah, Yo-Yo and I just had to really deeply stare into your eyes.
I didn't mind you. It was just really Yo-Yo.
Listen, we've been doing it for the past 2 weeks. Don't act brand new now. Now that Kim is here, don't act brand new.
Have you guys been having moments
Now
about
on Hump Day Wednesday, I would not have asked Yo-Yo to.
Right.
Oh, eye contact.
Now, Joe's saying I have green eyes, but sometimes they turn brownish. I don't have blue eyes.
They're definitely not.
No, I don't have blue eyes. I have green eyes, but sometimes they turn brown.
Yes.
So that's called hazel when it kind of changes color from greenish brown to brown. Yes, but blue I do not have.
Blue you don't.
No. All right. Let's go. Well, my hazel eyes turn brown, Jill.
They're arguing.
Jill's arguing with me in my head.
They're arguing about what Brad's eye color is. It's fantastic.
All right, Josh, how are you? Josh.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, how are you?
How are you guys?
Good. What's going
on? You want to, because I have an appointment with you guys this week. Regarding my work permit.
I didn't hear a word you said because I don't know if you have a cloth over your phone or there's a bad connection, but I didn't hear one word you said other than the word appointment and work permit.
Yeah, it's regarding my my work permit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to have an appointment with you guys this week, so I just want to ask. My work permit expires on 31st of April.
Again, I only hear the word work permit. So your work permit expires, and Belgium Kim, can you help me here? His work permit expires and what?
All I heard was expires the 31st of April.
Okay, so all right, so you need to renew your work permit?
Yes, I want to renew it.
Okay, hold on one second.
You know?
Hold on one second. All right. I'm having trouble there listening to him.
I couldn't.
But he needs let him have a consultation with me. Yeah. I'll ask him to speak up.
Very muffled.
Okay, let's go to Junior in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Junior.
Hi, Brad. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening.
All right. I got a question for my brother.
Yes.
He's in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He tried to get a visa like 3 times at the U.S. Embassy.
Right.
And they told him that he needs to establish himself some more.
He has to establish what?
Himself some more in the country so he could get a visa.
Okay, so he doesn't have enough ties to his home country to get the visa.
Yes.
Okay.
But he has a fiance over here in which she want to get married to him. So you want me to ask if it's better to get a fiance visa or she could come down there and marry to him, knowing that he got denied 3 times.
Well, he got denied because they didn't believe he was going to return home to his home country. When you have a fiance visa, you don't got to prove that because you intend to go live in the United States and get married. So the only thing you have to prove for the fiance visa is that you intend to get married in a bona fide marriage. There's no better or worse, but I will say that a fiance visa is faster than going to wherever he may live, getting married, and then filing for a green card.
Okay, so what they require for the fiance visa? Just to prove that the relationship is real?
Prove the relationship is real, and they intend to get married within 90 days.
Okay, another thing, he's 25 and she's 19.
Okay, great. Young love.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Miracle in Irving, Texas. Miracle.
Hello?
How are you? Is that your name, Miracle? Or is you like asking for a miracle?
No, my name's Miracle.
Okay, good. I like that. Okay, cool name. All right, what's going on?
So I have a few questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so my first one is WAWA still active?
What's still active?
Is WAWA still active?
Is it still
active? I heard the government shut down, like it's not active anymore. So
okay, so this is what's going on. Okay, you cannot file a new VAWA application at this moment. The reason you can't is because it has not been legally extended. It is funded through the end of the year, so the applications that are pending and the I-360s that have been approved can still be processed because it's been funded. But they're not going to accept any new applications unless it's extended, and hopefully it is.
Oh, so after prima facie determination, what is the next step?
Waiting for an approval.
And how do we know a WAWA is approved? And how long will it take?
They're going to send you an approval letter. It says, congratulations, you're approved. It won't say congratulations, but it'll say you're approved.
Oh, so in order to get a green card through WAWA, do we need divorce?
No. As a matter of fact, if you're divorced for more than 2 years, you can't get a green card through VAWA. So you have to file within 2 years of a divorce. What you need is to prove that there is abuse in the relationship and there was a bona fide relationship, marriage, and that you're a person of good moral character. Those are the 3 requirements.
And my mom actually was applied through WAWA, and so she got her prima facie determination for I-360.
Right.
So is she eligible for I-765 and I-485?
She should have filed her I-45 already if she was married to a U.S. citizen.
No, an I-485.
She should have done it already if the marriage was to a U.S. citizen. She should have done it. She should do it now.
Oh, and what about the I-765?
She should have done it now also with the I-45. It should have been done from the beginning.
Oh. And my I-485 and I-765 case has been transferred to the National Benefit Center, and it's under their jurisdiction. So what would happen? Is it just is it still in the processing stage, or is there a change? Because it got changed from its original.
It's just being processed until they get you to an interview, until they schedule a local interview. Where are you from, Miracle?
From Irving, Texas.
Where originally?
Oh, from India.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but that's kind of how it works. Hold on if you need more help. Let's go to Jade in Sunrise, Florida. Jade.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Jade. How are you? How you doing?
Hi, Brad. Irie. Everything Irie?
Yes, it is. Irie, Jamaican.
All right.
She's going to ask her a question in patois. I'm going to be like, huh?
Yeah. Last year, I remember I called you because I filed the paperwork and they denied me because the affidavit was wrong. and you said to me, oh, that's why they denied you, and you're stressing out, and you're looking through your windows. Remember I told you I was looking through the windows and the doors, and I can't eat, and I can't sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
You remember
I
her?
do.
You do remember
Because
her?
I was saying it was like a R&B video.
Yes.
Looking out, it's
Oh,
raining.
Yo-Yo remembers.
I do.
Yo-Yo remembers.
sleep.
I
That's
vaguely remember something, but I have to. You know, in my defense, I've answered like probably 1,000 questions since then. So
I was the most dramatic one. That's
yes,
all.
okay. But Yo-Yo remembers.
What
Okay.
happened was-
So what happened?
Good news. I refiled.
Yes.
I refiled back in January.
Right.
And last month, in February, I should say, my case updated to your case is now in processing for interview or something like
Fantastic,
that. So
right.
I'm wondering what's going on.
That means that all your paperwork was in order, and you're just in line now to get an interview. So everything's going good. All right. Yo, what is this? What's the new song? This is Cool in the Gang Celebration, right?
Celebrate good times.
I'm telling you, Brad, it's the real deal. It's the real deal.
Wait.
All I did was say refile with a good affidavit of support. What did I do that was so wonderful?
But you also calmed her down.
You told me everything. You said to me, listen, you need to do everything because remember the person who did the paperwork first did everything but didn't do any work permits. They didn't do any affidavit of support. They did the whole paperwork wrong. And you said to me, listen, this is what you need to do. I did everything that you said. And then I checked it in February and they said your case is ready to be scheduled for interview. So how long do I have to wait for everything to be completed?
Well,
how long, Brad?
this is the sad news is that it's going to be probably another 12 months before you get an interview. But you'll get through. The only good news that comes from all of these people who are waiting for so long is that
and my anniversary, my 2-year anniversary is coming up in April.
I was about to say you're only going to have to go through this process once, not twice.
Yes.
I love it.
How long do I have to wait? I want to work. I need a work.
Well, your work permit should come sometime over the summer, but you should get your interview for your green card early next year.
Oh my God! Thank you so much, Brad. Bye, big up, Brad.
Thank you. Oh, I just got it. I just got the kiss right here on the cheek. Thank you very much.
My God.
I love that.
All right. Wow, Jade.
She's so
I
hyped.
feel like we have enough creative people both on our team and watching this show that someone can turn Jade's entire phone call into a really dope song. Complete with the yelps and the screams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody auto-tune Jade's call so that we can have a dope song.
I think we may be able to.
I think it's a hit. Absolutely.
All right, let's go to Kevin in Fort Lauderdale. Kevin.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
How you
doing? Good. You guys are doing an excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I got a question, man. I sponsored my son, and he came over here in 2009.
Right.
September, and then he get involved in 2012, I think, yes, with a shoplifting at a Walmart there, and I actually take attorney for him, and he go and he pay, I think, like $200 and something fine, and no contest. I think he went to play at the.
Now, just so you know, when you plead no contest, that's a guilty plea for immigration.
I know, yeah, that's guilty. Yeah, I know that. So, from then to now, I went to get the disposition and the police report because he actually sealed his case because of job-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a disposition for him. The police
what did
report
he plead guilty? What was he found guilty of?
Petty theft.
Petty theft. Okay. And he has a green card? What's his story?
Yes, he's a green card holder. So from since the case finished in 2013, so his green card is expiring next year. So I want to know if he's putting for his citizenship instead of file for his green card and wasting a set of money.
Well, is he still on any sort of probation or anything?
No, he didn't get up. He just paid a fine, and that was it.
All right.
He didn't
you have to be able to prove good moral character to become a citizen. The fact
he
that
never had no ticket. I've never had no ticket or any.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Let me just tell you what the law is. Okay, the fact that he had an arrest and a petty offense conviction is something that the immigration officer can say shows bad moral character. Now, having pled guilty to a petty offense, if that's his only arrest and conviction ever in his life, almost 99%, unless I see the disposition, I can't be 100%, but I'm 99% certain it's not a deportable offense because it's a petty offense exception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
That's the only problem you have with the law.
okay. Now, what the law says for citizenship is you don't have to be a person of good moral character for 5 years, which is 365 days times 5 years. I don't know what that is, like 1,500 consecutive days. Or 1,600 consecutive days. You don't have to be a person of good moral character every single day. You're allowed to have a bad day. So I would argue to the immigration officer, kid had a bad day. But doesn't mean he's a good person. He is a good person. Here's all the other proof that he's a good person. So just know, yes, he can file for his citizenship. Nothing bad will happen because it's a petty offense. But know you're going to have a fight on your hand regarding proving good moral character.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you may want to have an attorney help you with that one.
Oh, so you think I should take an attorney to
Absolutely, because without an attorney, he's going to get denied. Guarantee you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Have a blessed.
All right. You too.
Thanks.
All right. Let's go to Simone in New York. Simone.
Hello.
Hi, Simone.
Hi. I'm calling about INA 212A6B.
I don't know what that says.
Inadmissible.
Is that a drug offense?
For citizen, like if you say that you're a citizen to get a
false claim
job.
to citizenship. Okay.
Right. So my daughter turns 21 this coming summer. And I wanted to know if it's worth even having her file for me due to maybe that being the case.
So, Simone, what I would suggest you do is have a personal one-on-one consultation with me, because false claim to citizenship is not only inadmissible, but it's a crime. You can go to jail. So you don't want to talk about anything on the air about that. Number two, it depends on the facts. So I would suggest you come see us, and then we figure it out from there. So hold on one second, okay? All right. Let's go to Sam in Trenton. Sam.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
How you doing, Brad?
What's going on?
Good. Hi, guys. How y'all doing? All right, Brad, I got 2 questions. Hopefully I can articulate myself
I have to tell
properly.
you something, Sam. They're all excited to get involved in your question. And Jordan and Julian, I called him Jordan. I don't know why. Julian, the TriCaster guy, just
dismissed us.
Dismissed you.
Because we popped up, Sam. We were
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah, that's how they were. Okay.
That's true.
Tell you about. All right, so what's going on, Sam?
Okay. 2 questions. Question number 1 is, I recently got married.
Congratulations.
15th of February. Thank you so much. To my wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're about to file for adjustment of status, right? But I realized while we were dating, right, that she had a prior, I wouldn't say a prior conviction, but I think when she was in high school, something happened, and then she went to juvie. So I want to know if it's an issue.
Something happened in high school. And what happened?
She missed school or something like that, right? She missed school, and then she got into juvie for that.
Okay. And you're the citizen, or she's the citizen?
No, she's.
Oh, that doesn't matter. She could commit all the crimes she wants. She's the American citizen. That doesn't make you inadmissible. It's what you did. So don't worry about it.
Okay, good. Okay, question number 2.
Yes.
I have a son from my previous marriage, right? He's 3 years old, right? He's a U.S. citizen. No problem with him.
All right.
But my concern is with his mom. She's back home in Ghana, right? And when she gave it to him over here, she didn't pay her bills completely, right? So one of the bill went to the collectors. It was just $50. It went to the collectors, right? But I ended up paying that bill.
Fine.
Now she wants to renew her visa. I don't know if that's a concern, because I don't know, will the collector send a mail back home?
I wouldn't be concerned. I wouldn't be concerned that she owes $50. I'd be concerned that she gave birth to in America on a visitor's visa, because if they know that, she'll never get a visa again.
Yeah, she had a B1, B2 visa.
If she came to the United States on a B1, B2 visa, she gave birth and she went back to Ghana, I can assure you, as much as the sun's going to rise tomorrow, that they will not give her a visa.
And what's the reason for that?
Because you can't come to the United States and give birth to a child and make an American citizen. It's against the rules of a visitor's visa. It's misrepresentation.
No, but she wrote to the embassy for the change of intent, and she got approved for that.
What change of intent?
If I'm correct, B1, B2 is both visitors, medical, and business, right?
No. Okay, a B1, B2 is a tourist visa. Now, a B1 is a visa for a businessman. Now, if you go to try to extend your tourist visa because you have a medical illness and you can show that you can afford to pay all of your bills without taking any government assistance, then certainly you may be able to get that extended. But even if you're going to pay all your bills for your pregnancy, it is still a misrepresentation to be here on a tourist visa because you have now made an American citizen that otherwise that person would not have been.
Even if she didn't stay more than 2 months?
It doesn't, even if she didn't use any government assistance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what can she do now?
I don't know. She's going to have a huge problem. But I would suggest have a consultation. But I could almost assure you they will not renew her visitor's visa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. But if you want to have a consultation, I don't have the answer at the moment. Robert in Queens. Robert.
Yeah?
How are you?
Fine.
Hi.
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 Just one question I want to ask. If
What's
you
the
married an
question?
American citizen, she disappears from you, what can you do?
Get divorced. What are you going to do? Track her down.
All right.
Those are your choices.
Yeah?
I don't know. Track her down and get a divorce.
All right, thanks.
All right. You're welcome.
That was easy.
I don't know what he wanted me to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Give him a divorce?
Yeah. I don't know. Amanda in Miami.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
What's going on?
Okay, so I have a friend that filed for his son, and the filing got denied because lack of evidence of him being his father, and his name was added on to the filing late.
Mm-hmm.
To the birth paper late.
Right.
So I was wondering, where in Jamaica can you do a DNA test?
Well, this is what you would have to refile again. See, when the father is not married to the mother, they actually make it much more difficult for the father. They actually discriminate against fathers who are not married to mothers, because not only do you have to prove that you are the biological father, you also have to prove, so even if we do take a DNA test and prove you're the biological father, it's not enough. You also have to prove that there was a relationship between that father and that child between birth and 18. Okay? So, and when you add your name onto a birth certificate years after the fact, that is considered zero evidence to prove that you are the father. Any man can come 5 years after the fact and say, I'm the father, put my name on the birth certificate, and then go file for my kid. So what you would have to do is you would have to submit proof that there is a bona fide father-child relationship between the father and the child. In addition to that, get several affidavits from people saying that they know for a fact that he is the biological father. You submit everything, and then you say to immigration, if you want, we've already proven there's a relationship, and if you want, I will take a blood test, but I want to do it in conjunction with the immigration service. You're not just going to go randomly do a blood test now, submit it to immigration. They're going to say that's worthless. You have to do it under the auspices of the immigration service. So then they would send you in Jamaica to a doctor, and they would send the father here, wherever he is in the United States, to an immigration doctor, and then they would collect the blood samples, send it to Washington, D.C., and then make a determination.
Okay.
All right? So that's the way it's handled. Hold on if you need help. All right. With that said, we're going to go to our social media check-in in about 1 minute. But before we go, I do want to remind everybody, not only are we on Facebook at Bradshaw Live Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein, and not only are we on YouTube at Bradshaw Live, Spar and Bernstein, where we broadcast, we also have our Instagram pages. You can check out at Bradshaw Live and follow stories about all our guests that come on at Bradshaw Live. You can also follow me at, what's my Instagram? Real Brad Bernstein. At Real Brad Bernstein. I just started it last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. New one, at Real Brad Bernstein. And Belgium Kim, you can follow Belgium Kim where?
You can follow Belgium Kim on Belgium Kim, or if you're looking on Facebook, it's Belgium Kim TV.
Okay, and Jonathan Yo-Yo
And
Elias?
for me, you can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV
All
on
right.
Instagram.
And with that said, let's do something we like to call here social media checking.
Yeah, that's fine. You can have my
Thank you
rundown.
very much. I don't have a rundown. So somebody, I do have a rundown.
Yeah,
Here,
don't
take this
act
back.
like she didn't
Okay.
give you a
All right,
rundown.
I have it. Okay,
The
fine.
blaspheming. The blaspheming.
All right, social media checking.
All right.
I'm a little thief there. Huh?
You are.
I was very quick with my hands
Sorry,
there.
I just,
Right, you can't blink. You can't leave anything out in front of me.
Right.
Boom, done.
Seriously.
Right.
Acting like the rundown I have in front
That's right.
of me
Right.
is
I'll
not
be like, hey,
mine.
Kim, look up there. Boom, and take it.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. All right,
trust
social
ya.
media check-in.
We got one from Rade Mali who said, I've got a question for tonight's show. I hope you don't mind answering me. We don't. My friend just moved down to Florida and he got married, and his roommate as well. Does it look bad? Does it look bad on them if there are 4 of them on the lease, 2 pairs of newlyweds? They're filing documents for green cards from the same address.
Why are there 2 couples at the same address?
Because they're all living together. They've got roommates. They all live together.
Yeah, I guess 2 married couples can live together. I guess that's conceivable.
Is it weird that the both
Absolute-
sets are filing?
Yes, and they will investigate, but it is what it is.
If you're just trying to get cheap rent, you
Cheap
can
rent, that's what it is.
Listen, I ain't mad
explain
at
that
that.
away.
It sounds like it's like one big orgy going on over there. I don't know.
I don't know, or they're
Yeah.
or they've got thousands of dollars left over from the
I don't know,
rent
but how are they
saving.
all sharing the same room?
It's not
Maybe
the same
it's a
room, but it's an
two-bedroom.
apartment.
Oh, you told me they're all in the same room.
No, I
It's a
said they're
two-bedroom
roommates.
apartment.
Oh,
in
I
the-
thought
in
you
the
said
same
that.
house.
Well, roommates means they're all in the same room
That's
to
not
me.
what
Not
that
true.
means. Spoken from a
That's
man
how
who's
you know,
never had a
right?
roommate.
That's how you know he rich and just rich and richer. Roommate means you have a roommate with different rooms.
Okay, that's not what it means to me. Roommate means you're in the same room as the mate.
That's a
That's a
bed
rich
mate.
people problem.
Yeah.
That's a rich people problem. Yeah, that's an apartment mate. does
Okay,
not
that's
exist.
why I'm like,
I
what's
want
going
that
on there? There's like a big
problem.
orgy going on in this room. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
No, 2 bedrooms.
Just showed your true colors.
Yeah, there it is. That's written. I haven't had a roommate in a long time. I have to admit.
You know, whenever
Have you ever?
Yeah, when I was in college, I had a roommate, but I shared a room with somebody.
See, those were dorms.
Yeah.
That's like the.
I lived in a dorm and I shared a room with a roommate.
See, when you run for president, we're really gonna have to work on your relatability when you tell these kind of stories.
Let me just ask the next question.
Yes. That was like George Bush and he didn't know how to pay.
Right.
He didn't know how to pay down the scanner, right?
How much is a gallon of milk these days, Brad?
It's about $3.
That's absolutely right.
I know. I go
That's
shop.
absolutely
I'm very relatable.
There you go. That's us working on it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Joe. No, I shouldn't say anything. I know. I just want milk. I know.
Our next one comes from
Yeah.
Kelly Singh saying, "Good afternoon, Brad. My question is, my husband filed for me. I was living in the U.S. For 18 years, have a U.S. daughter, came back to get my permanent visa and the pass. I was charged with the U.S. passport. The court cannot find the case, Jack. So I got stuck. What should I do? I think I got stuck.
Can't find the court. The court can't find Jack, but he got stuck.
Yeah.
You need a good lawyer because they're charging. They may charge you with false claim to U.S. citizenship. We got to figure this out.
We've got a question from Varinder Kumar, who said, I got a white slip on December 7th of 2018. My visa is a CR1 and I provided all the documents they asked about on February 1st of this year. What's next?
Wait for a decision.
All right. Our next one is from Carlos Hernandez saying, I have a question. I hope it gets answered.
By the way, Sasha Ford said roommates means we in one room, LOL. Is she saying that I'm not correct?
Wait,
or
what?
is she agreeing with me or not agreeing with me?
What
Sasha
did she
Ford?
say?
Roommates means we in one room, LOL. I guess she's not agreeing with me.
She is agreeing with you.
She is
but
agreeing with me.
That's not what a roommate is.
That's not
That's
what
what a roommate is to me, at least.
No.
All right. So,
I got-
anyways, continue.
No. Okay. Carlos Hernandez.
Straight wrong.
All right. Maybe I don't have Richard. Maybe I'm just not a millennial. I mean, you know.
No,
Back,
they had roommates back in the day too.
Yes, and you shared a room.
No, you
With
didn't.
there was a bed, or a second bed, or whatever it was.
I cannot imagine this is a generational thing.
Right.
I just can't imagine.
It's
All
a
right, let's
status
continue.
thing. All right, Carlos Hernandez said, I was brought here at the age of 4. I have kindergarten records all through 12th grade, medical records and all. Upon finishing high school, I got my DACA in 2012 and started working. I've renewed it ever since. I've known my wife since we were 8. Now we're 24. We've been married for 5 years, no children. My record is clean, so my wife is as well. No tickets, no criminal record or anything. So now what are my chances of my case being denied because our age and her not needing me to stay in the U.S. because she can work and support herself? I bring in a large income, so will we be able to be viewed later? Also, it helps my entry was illegal at the age of 4, as most DACA from south of the border. Another question is, if possible, all our mail gets delivered to my parents' address, and we have 3 addresses, including our current location. I have receipts, our payments, but that's all. All my mail goes to my parents' location. So what would the impact be on my application as well?
All right, you got to prove you live together, so have all your mail go to your marital address, number 1. Number 2, if you don't have a legal entry, you'll need a provisional waiver. We get provisional waivers approved all the time. Just because your wife's a high income earner doesn't mean she wouldn't suffer an extreme hardship if you and her were separated for 10 years. So let's figure it out.
We've got a question from Kelly Singh, who said,
That's the one I read.
You already read that, right? That's what I thought. Simone says, Honorable Brad. Oh, you didn't ask this.
Brad.
Thank you.
Yes.
Honorable Brad, can consular officer deny an immigrant visa for an arrest record that was vacated? The arrest no longer exists. Fingerprints were destroyed. The court gave the order to destroy the arrest record. So how is it that we could possibly be denied based on this arrest?
Well, if it was vacated or was expunged, those are 2 different things. Because if there is a conviction and ultimately you pled guilty and there was a sentence involved, and then the court expunged those records years later, that's a conviction for immigration purposes. Vacated would only be done by your motion to vacate a conviction because your constitutional rights were violated. So we got to get to the bottom of what actually happened in this court.
All right, our next one is from Bridget Williams saying, good night, Brad. I have a friend who's from Jamaica. Came to the U.S. on a 10-year visa. She met someone, had a child, got married. He is a permanent resident, and he wants to file for her. Does he have to be a citizen to file for his wife?
No, go file for her, and if he never becomes a citizen, she'll do a provisional waiver. And if he becomes a citizen, ultimately she'll adjust.
We've got a question from Olu Ratimi, who says, does an American citizen need a visa to go to London?
No. I was just in London 2 years ago. Although, next year they're going to have some sort of requirement that you go online to get some sort of ESTA. I don't know what it's called, but they're going to call it, but similar to what the ESTA is here.
Got it.
All right. Ali Bakani says, my cousin came here in the U.S. through the border. A few years after his mom, who is a green card holder, petitioned for him for the F2B. His priority date is September 2012, which is coming up. My question is, does he need to leave the U.S., go back to his home country in Guatemala while he's processing his green card because he came through the border? And second question, who will he contact if change of address while waiting on his priority date?
You contact the National Visa Center for change of address. He may have to go home, but if he goes home without a provisional waiver, he'll be stuck for 10 years. So you just don't go home for going home. You have to go home the right way, and that's with a provisional waiver. It also may be that he's 245I eligible. Who knows? And if he is, then he would be eligible to adjust his status here. But 245I is a completely different question. You really need a consultation.
We've got a question from Princess Dyer, who said, if a child here is out of status and is going to college and they're going to be 21 in June, is there a possibility that she could get her green card as a student or any other way? Can I get the answer? And if yes, I'd like to set up an appointment to come in for a consultation.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no student green card. No such thing.
Okay.
Now, you're out of status. If they're a child, perhaps we can do a SIJ. That's what most children do when they're out of status.
Even if they're 21?
No, if they're 21, you can't do it. She's an
to
adult. She's not a child anymore.
Yeah, she's about to turn 21.
Yeah.
All right, our next question comes from First Lady Hewitt, saying, how long does FOIA take?
Depends what Freedom of Information Act, who you're requesting it from. If you're requesting it from EOIR, which is the immigration courts, it could take 8 to 12 weeks. If you're requesting it from Customs and Border Patrol, it could take over a year. If you're requesting it from USCIS, depending on what you're requesting, it could take anywhere from weeks, months, or years, depending on whether or not you requested the full records, half of records, a specific document. So a lot's involved.
Shanique says, after receiving your appointment date for your biometric, what's next? I filed the I-360.
Wait for your work permit and travel document, and then ultimately wait for a prima facie eligibility for to collect government benefits, and then ultimately an interview for a green card, in that order.
All right, next comes from Paula Campbell, saying, hey, Brad, if married to a U.S. citizen 10 days lesser than the 90 days, will it cause a problem when you're going for an interview for your green card?
It may, but you have a rebuttable presumption, and the rebuttable presumption is that they would believe that the person came in to get a green card when they came through the airport and got married 80 days after they entered, but there's a rebuttable presumption that you changed your mind. So you got to prove it.
Irfan said, is there any update on VAWA yet?
Nothing new.
Yo, you're going to get that tatted on your head.
Nothing new on VAWA.
Nothing new on VAWA?
Yes, because they
or the
keep
90
on asking.
days?
Both.
I
hear that all the time.
Right. You missed it when I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And I told Jonathan I'm going to be doing this forever, but I know how my life's going to end.
Oh gosh.
How?
You didn't watch that episode.
I did not.
I said one day I'm going to be walking on the street.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to say, hey, Brad, I got married within the first 90 days. What should I do? And I'll say, that's the 1 millionth time I've been asked that question.
I thought you were going to walk into traffic.
I
can't do it. I can't anymore.
All right, Medu03 says, my husband is my sponsor, and he made $19,500 in 2016 and $13,500 in 2017.
You need an affidavit of support.
$24,000 in 2018?
You still probably need an affidavit of support because it's only 1 year.
Tanisha Tennant said, my friend is asking if they can travel to and from Jamaica on their advance parole. They never used it since they've gotten it in August of 2018.
Okay, so can they use it now?
Yeah.
As long as it's valid.
Okay.
All right, Ma Dukes has a question. Says she's asking for a friend who's from Jamaica here in the U.S. on a student visa. She wants to know if after completing a master's degree, can she stay and apply for a work permit and work in the USA?
Well, you can definitely get a work permit through practical training for 1 year after. What happens after that? Most people do an H-1B visa.
Sorry, Grace Cruz. That was my bad. Grace Cruz, don't say yes. Grace Cruz said, I married my husband from the UK and he was currently on the ESTA program. Could he adjust his status in the US for a green card based on our marriage?
If he's married to a US citizen, yes.
Yeah, and they got married in the UK, so.
Oh, well then he can't come on an ESTA to adjust his status then. Because then that would be fraud.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
So how would they be able to adjust his status?
Well, hopefully he would come for 90 days and then adjust his status after the 90-day period and hope nobody asks any questions at the interview.
Okay.
All right, Marchik says, good evening, asking for a knowledge purpose. What's the difference between consult processing and adjustment of status? Thank you.
Adjustment of status is stateside. Consult processing is outside of the United States.
Anna Kay said, can a person waiting for a response from immigration with regards to his naturalization get married 3 years after submitting his application? And what's going to happen to his wife who's out of status if they do get married?
What happened after 3 years?
It says that he's been waiting for a response about his naturalization for the last 3 years.
Okay, 2 things should happen. 1, go get married. Why should you be waiting? Why should you be pushing off something that you're in love with this woman? You shouldn't have to wait 3 years. Number 2, if you're waiting for citizenship for 3 years, you've got a big problem. Come see me. It's called mandamus. We got to sue the government to get you to become a citizen.
Sam S. Harry says, I applied for my immigrant visa for my wife. She's in Morocco, and I have a daughter. With her, our daughter was born in Morocco, but she got her citizenship. My wife had an interview in the U.S. consulate in Morocco, and they asked her to send more documents. We did send them. A week later, they sent an email to the file DS5535, and we did on February 19th. Of this year, and from that time we've been waiting and respond. They have all the original documents and her passport too. I want to know how long it takes to get a response for the DS5535, and what is the DS5535, and how does it work?
I have no idea what the DS5535 is. I don't know every form number, but I assume it's some sort of request for additional documentation. From the time you submit the additional documentation, it should take about 8 weeks. It's more than 8 weeks. You should be calling us so we can call Morocco to find out what's going on. By the way, my magic 8 ball is missing.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's why I started laughing, because I could feel you looking for it.
Yeah. Because I felt that somebody's going to be asking me a magic 8 ball
I could have
question.
sworn I saw it over there.
Somebody
somewhere.
stole my magic. Oh, I see it now. It's off the camera.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We're going to have to stealthily
It's
run
all right.
together.
Don't worry about it.
Groundhog
We'll
Sam.
have it for tomorrow.
Joy Brown said, hey, I'm asking for my nephew. His dad is filing for him, but immigration denied his case because his father's name was not on his birth certificate. They need DNA by next month. Where could I go to do that? I'm in Jamaica.
What do you mean? Who's asking for DNA?
Immigration, because dad's name isn't on the birth certificate.
Immigration has to tell you where to go and give you instructions. Come to see us, and we'll get it all organized for you.
All right, funny video says my I-130 application was submitted March 7, 2018. How long before I get an interview date?
Could be anywhere from 12 to 30 months from March 2017.
Sandra Salinas is wondering what happens if your fiance...
Wait, what?
His adjustment was filed March of 2017. When
Said the application was submitted March 7th, 2018.
Then 12 to 30 months from March 7th, 2018.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you got some time. Sandra Salinas says, what if your fiance is a permanent resident and has been a permanent resident since 1980? His card has absolutely no expiration dates. However, he has 2 misdemeanors, which he pled guilty to in the last 5 years, about 2 years ago. About 5 years ago. What can he do?
Well, he's deportable. He may not be eligible for citizenship. He shouldn't even renew his green card. He shouldn't pass go. He shouldn't collect $200. He should go straight to a lawyer and figure this all out.
All right, our next one comes from Lauren saying, hey, I wanted to help my cousin to co-sponsor for her I-864. In 2016, I wasn't working because I was still in college. I started working in 2017 until today. Do I need to work 3 consecutive years for me to co-sponsor her?
No, if your income is really good for 2 years, 2 out of 3 years, you can show no income for 1 year and show good income for 2 years.
I've got one last question, and I don't have all of the info that you need for this, Brad, but I'm hoping you can give me the answer for both. So Grace, who has the British husband who's here on the ESTA visa, they got married. He's from the UK, but they got married in the US. They filed all of their paperwork with USCIS, and it's now saying that their case is ready for an interview. Is that good news or bad news? He was admitted to the US on the ESTA.
That's fine as long as the marriage and the adjustment was filed more than 90 days. Remember, when you come in on the ESTA, you don't have a right to see an immigration judge. So you're either getting your adjustment approved or denied. And if you got married or you filed the adjustment within the first 90 days, you are risking a denial. You have a rebuttable presumption, but you better prove that you changed your mind or you're going to get denied and he's going to get deported. So they really need a good lawyer.
They really do.
If the marriage or the adjustment went in within the first 90 days. Otherwise, everything is fine. All right. So meanwhile, Belgium, Kim.
Yeah.
It's okay. The National Butterfly Center in Mission, Texas. It's located in Rio Grande Valley. We started a little late, so it's okay.
Okay.
Right on the U.S.-Mexican border. So the center's executive director, Marianna Treviño-Wright, joined me to discuss how this National Butterfly Center is really on the front lines of this Donald Trump border wall. You wouldn't believe how this border wall is affecting people on a day-to-day basis. It was actually when I was going like, when I was about to say, before I had this interview, I'm like, all right, National Butterfly Center will be a cute little story. It's really, really important what this woman has to say about what's going on with the wall. She's living it day to day. Watch. The National Butterfly Center in Mission, Texas, is located in the Rio Grande River, right on the U.S.-Mexico border. The National Butterfly Center's objective is to preserve and showcase live animals and plants, to enhance human understanding and appreciation of nature, and to ensure the landscape and wildlife will be here for future generations. Recently, however, the center has found itself in the middle of the border wall controversy. Joining me to discuss how the National Butterfly Center is fighting to save its land and all the precious flora and fauna it preserves in the midst of the government's fight to build a border wall right through their property is the center's executive director, Marianna Treviño-Wright. Marianna, thank you for coming on, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brad.
So give us a little background of what is the National Butterfly Center.
We are a nonprofit, and we are a project of the North American Butterfly Association. It's a national organization. This is the only brick and mortar facility that it owns and operates. And they chose to locate it in the lower Rio Grande Valley on the banks of the river because this part of the United States has more butterflies in both species diversity and volume than any place in North America.
What does the Butterfly Center do?
We have converted what was a commercial onion field into native habitat. We've restored it. And we focus primarily on native plants that are host and nectar sources for butterflies. And we're doing this because in our region of Texas, only about 5% of our native habitat remains. And those plants have to be preserved, and that's happening in the lower Rio Grande Valley Wildlife Conservation Corridor. We anchor a section that's over 2,000 acres. We're a small portion of that, but the entire section is threatened by the border wall.
Let me put myself in the shoes of a Trump supporter. Who cares? So we lose a couple butterflies. Isn't losing a couple of butterflies more important than keeping us safe from all the immigrants running across the border, which we know is not happening? But that's going to be the argument. Why are butterflies so important?
Well, let me start by saying that we're all for national security. And if we thought that this border wall, which is going to be built over 2 miles inland in some places in South Texas, would do anything at all to protect America, then we might support it. But the border wall is being built over 2 miles inland. It's going to have gates approximately every quarter mile, and it's going to leave parts of the United States, including residential subdivisions, RV parks, churches, the National Butterfly Center, behind the border wall in this new no man's land, and everybody gets the gate code. So all of our members and 35,000 visitors each year are going to get the gate codes to the border wall. Doesn't this sound kind of preposterous?
Well, it does unless you think that 35,000 people are going to keep that code secret, that nobody's going to share this code with anybody. It's going to be a top secret between the National Butterfly Association and the other 35,000 people that are behind the wall, right?
We're not here to screen people. So if you're some bad hombre and you want to join the National Butterfly Center, we have no way of knowing that. Residential subdivisions behind the wall, every ambulance company, every cable repairman, every garbage truck driver gets the gate code because they have to provide municipal services to these places.
This is the most preposterous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. This is only in one city. Imagine in all the different other cities too. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to have the code to walk through the wall.
It's an electronic keypad.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
So, I mean, you can open it day and night. And the majority of the Texas southern border is private property.
But let me get back to the question that I asked you before. Why are butterflies more important than building a wall?
Butterflies are the primary pollinators of all of our native plants and grasses. If we eliminate the habitat that sustains butterflies, which is what has to happen for the wall, it's going to affect 6,000 acres, land that will be cleared and have concrete and all-weather rubberized road poured across it. Each butterfly is intimately tied to one or two plant species. You eliminate the plant from the landscape equals eliminating the butterfly. So if we don't have butterflies, we don't have anything to pollinate the plants and grasses that remain. Eliminating vegetation from the earth leads to greater radiant heat temperatures, erosion, lack of water filtration, diminished air filtration, and we're doing this on the banks of a vibrant river that we call the Rio Grande, but in Mexico it's called the Rio Bravo. It's a big, bold, wide, powerful river, and we're going to eliminate everything that holds the earth in place.
That's crazy.
That doesn't just affect us here in the Rio Grande Valley. It's going to ripple across the American landscape, starting at the borderlands where the wall is built and all the vegetation is eliminated that provides the host plants or the biological reproduction of butterflies.
Give me an example of how it could ripple across to somebody like me in New York.
The monarchs, for example, their transcontinental migration is under tremendous pressure. And this is a butterfly that goes all the way to Canada and all the way to Mexico, pollinating flowers and grasses along the way. And everywhere that milkweed has disappeared from our landscape due to drought, use of pesticides and herbicides, we're seeing fewer butterflies and insects. Caterpillars, for example, are the #1 food source for migratory songbirds. And at the National Butterfly Center, we are the southernmost monarch way station for the United States. We've planted about 30 of our 100 acres with thousands of native milkweeds and nectar plants because we are in the central U.S. flyway. We are that path that the monarchs travel on this multi-thousand mile migration. North and south of us, there is nothing for them. So for them to be able to come down and have nectar and host plants, lay that 5th generation or that 1st generation of monarchs to keep going is critical for what you're going to see in New York later this year.
You're going to basically destroy Mother Nature across the United States and Canada. You said that the wall is being built in your area 2 miles in actually from the border. You're on the opposite side between the wall and the Rio Grande, which forms the border between the United States and Mexico. After a migrant crosses over the Rio Grande, is there a bridge? Do they swim? How do they get from Mexico across the Rio Grande, and what happens once they get here? What is the general route that they take?
Well, we know the majority of all immigrants in this country illegally have come through legal ports of entry, which
Correct.
means they're coming
On real
across
visas.
bridges. But if they're going to enter outside of the course of the law, here they could swim the river. It has alligators in it, so it's not something people, I think, undertake lightly. And then if they're being trafficked by a coyote, by a human smuggler, they're going to go right through the gate because I guarantee the smugglers are going to have the gate codes.
You don't think so? You think we'll be able to keep it from the smugglers, the gate code?
Never.
Of course not.
And if President Trump gets the gate code, he'll put it out on Twitter.
Exactly.
The asylum seekers, the refugees who risk coming over that way swimming, it's not going to keep any of them from entering the United States. We're actually creating a landing zone for them on U.S. soil.
The only thing the wall's doing, as far as I can figure out, is getting somebody in West Virginia who's never been to the Rio Grande to vote for Donald Trump.
That's exactly right.
Tell me where they are now. Have they started building a wall? Have you seen anything happen?
Our section of the border wall was funded in March of 2018 in the Consolidated Appropriations Act. They began rolling the heavy equipment for the clearing of vegetation in this area into the Butterfly Center and the National Wildlife Refuge tracts around us on Super Bowl Sunday. They immediately began clearing a National Wildlife Refuge tract just west of us. That has been cleared completely for the wall and enforcement zone. They presumably are going to start now at the National Wildlife Refuge tract adjacent to us. So we are day by day watching to see if that equipment is going to roll in and get started.
So they came onto your private property. This is privately owned property in the United States of America. Did they give you any notice that they were going to be working on Super Bowl Sunday to start clearing your land on your private property?
No, and actually they began clearing our property in July of 2017. More than 9 months before any congressional vote or appropriation for new border wall. The government sent contractors here with no notice, no legal process, no permission at all, and began cutting down our trees.
Have you gone to court to block the government from seizing your private property?
We did file suit against the federal government in December of 2017. Our suit sat in court with no action until Valentine's Day of 2019.
Why didn't your lawyer file a preliminary injunction to get an immediate... They did.
As soon as the heavy equipment started rolling in, where no one could argue that the wall was actually going to proceed, they did file a motion for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction. And on Valentine's Day, the judge tossed our entire suit.
Wow.
We filed an appeal to that.
Hopefully on appeal, you'll get hopefully a better result. There should be a temporary injunction on all of this because you are irreparably harmed. The trees they cut down, you can't get back the butterflies that they killed. You can't get back the vegetation. And that's the whole point of a preliminary injunction, to say, let's stop this until we have a final decision on whether this is legal or not, because I'm going to be irreparably harmed.
We are irreparably harmed, but the government has devised a way to skirt that. Through the Real ID Act, the government has given the Secretary of Homeland Security unilateral authority to waive the laws of the land. Not Congress, not the president by executive order, but a cabinet member to expedite border wall construction across the border. They have in Hidalgo County waived 28 federal laws. This includes the National Environmental Policy Act, the Endangered Species Act, the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. I could keep going on, but the government now doesn't have to keep us whole or make restitution for anything they have done in violation of those laws or our rights, because those laws effectively do not exist for our protection anymore.
Well, all hail King Trump, because Congress has abdicated their responsibility in the regular constitutional checks and balances to put a check on presidential power by giving him all the power to do whatever he wants. And ultimately, that may be unconstitutional in of itself.
In terms of defending our land or requiring that the government prove public benefit in this exercise of eminent domain, they are invoking national security. And to date, no federal judge has ever blocked that for border wall construction. You know, some other people say, never mind, we don't care about butterflies. You're going to be compensated and made whole for your loss of land. But that is not true. The federal government has a Depression-era law known as quick take. They seize the property, it becomes theirs, they do with it as they please, and you have to sue them for fair and just compensation. Under President Bush, when they began building border wall in South Texas, over 300 lawsuits like this were filed where people's land was seized without fair and just compensation. A decade later, there are still over 60 lawsuits open. So there are people who have died and never seen justice from the seizure of their private property for this project.
And not only that, but waiting a decade for justice is no justice at all. Even if you ultimately get justice, you're never getting fully compensated, because imagine having to hire a lawyer for a decade.
It is complete injustice.
Your local congressman, Henry Cuellar, he announced on February 14th that he added language to a bill that would prohibit border fencing at 5 major landmarks in the Rio Grande Valley, including the National Butterfly Center. Does that make you feel any better?
Yes, we were able to breathe a sigh of relief for about 30 seconds before the state of emergency was declared. And now we're living in this fake state of emergency, reporting for work every day. The Sierra Club military outdoors veterans have camped out here for a week, literally spending the night in tents on the banks of the Rio Grande River.
Have you ever felt invaded? You've been in Mission, Texas for how long now?
Well, I grew up here. I'm a Valley girl.
All right.
So I've been in the Valley the majority of my life and have very much enjoyed all of the perks and benefits of being this close to Mexico. So no, I have never in my life on the border felt threatened. My husband and I have 6 children that we have reared here. If there were any danger, why would we have stayed? Why would I report for duty here every day? We actually have another field trip of 100 school children coming, whose parents have all signed permission slips for them to chase butterflies on the border at the National Butterfly Center. If there were any threat to the safety of those children or our visitors, no one would ever come here.
You feel less safe now that there are armed Border Patrol, military roaming close to you, fully armed?
We are fully militarized. We have more than a dozen law enforcement agencies here at work day and night on our property, in our communities. There are raid towers, which are military equipment used in foreign wars like Iraq and Afghanistan, parked next to us. We are subject to audio surveillance, motion sensors planted on our property, and we do not have the Fourth Amendment rights and protections that U.S. citizens have. Not just us. In fact, people in New York should know about this. By virtue of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, Border Patrol has authority for warrantless entry to all private property within 25 miles of any U.S. border. And that's not just entry to your physical property, but also to your electronic devices. And that's at all ports of entry also. So if I'm driving down the road and Border Patrol thinks I'm acting in a suspicious manner, they can pull me over, detain me, demand the passwords to my cell phone, my camera, my iPad. And if I refuse to give those, I can be taken into custody. We are living in that fascist nightmare that no one, I think, imagined would come to America.
How do other people in Mission, Texas, on the Rio Grande, do they feel the way you feel?
Well, it's interesting because if you don't live and work on the border, you may not be aware of all of this. My neighbors were completely unaware of the fact that we do not have these rights and protections. They were also unaware of the raid towers. They thought these were just additional like cell phone towers or something. Now, the heavy patrol everyone is aware of, because our hotels are full of them, because the U.S. troops that have been deployed here have set up tent camps on the river, because the National Guard has been deployed on the levees, because we have Black Hawk helicopters flying overhead at night. Those are the things people are aware of, and for the most part, they feel that it's overkill, but if they're not in the crosshairs, I guess they're not complaining.
I understand your Congressman, Henry Cuellar, who's a Democrat.
Who votes with Republicans 70 to 80% of the time.
Okay, because the way I see him voting here, it looks like he's a Republican. He's funded by the GEO Group, which is the private prison company, for at least political campaigns by a company whose business is to put up fences, get people arrested on the border to be put in these private prisons. How is this man being elected? Why is this man not standing up for what is right in your hometown?
I think you have to follow the money in all things. And his family in Webb County is very powerful and connected in South Texas.
What is it going to take to educate people in your neighborhood that what's going on here is just wrong?
I think we're seeing it happen now. It's a combination of things like people understanding that the border wall is nothing more than a harvesting mechanism for funneling more refugees into these for-profit prison camps. Justice Democrats, the group that worked on getting Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez elected, ran a full-page ad in our local newspaper targeting Cuellar. There's a hashtag now called Primary Cuellar. He's not had a primary opponent in I don't know how long, but it looks like we may be reaching a tipping point by educating people. The border wall where we are is going to cost over $25 million a mile. The policy for profit, crafted by Cuellar and others, is costing us over $30 million a day. That sort of thing may open people's eyes.
The real money is in taking desperate people who are just trying to make a better life and putting them in prison and making money off of them.
Yes,
that's where the real money is.
A charge to you and me as taxpayers of $775 per day per adult and almost $1,300 per day per child. And we've got between 40 and 50,000 immigrants in detention every day. Imagine if our veterans got an extra $775 per month in their benefits, as opposed to that money being spent to keep people who want to come to this country to make, not to take, but to make a life for themselves, a future for their children, to make a living, to make the American dream. And Congress, you talked earlier about them abdicating their duties. Why haven't we had comprehensive immigration reform in this country? But I guess there's no one paying our congressional representatives to work on that.
Do you know when the last time we had comprehensive immigration reform? 1986, under Ronald Reagan.
This administration has actually positioned Customs and Border Protection agents at the center point of the bridge to physically bar any refugee or asylum seeker from following the law. They are physically preventing them from doing that. That's a violation of international law.
It certainly is, because we have signed agreements under the Hague Convention, and that is not what is in the Hague Convention. But hopefully somebody will take them to task on that as well.
The American people, I don't know what it's going to take for them to see that this is a perverse, corrupt, traitor, foreign agent, puppet of Putin that we have making policy for this country, trying to undertake the single greatest land grab of private property from U.S. citizens and taxpayers in modern history.
Sounds like maybe they need to get you for hashtag primary against Quaylar. Think about it. Tell me, with everything that you've shared with us today, what are your dreams for the future? What would you like to see happen?
You mentioned Reagan earlier. I value that shining city on a hill ideal, the melting pot, the land of opportunity. You know, Reagan enacted that comprehensive amnesty where people who had been in this country without legal status, without committing crimes, were able to apply to become citizens and have it granted so they could stay and move out of the shadows and have legal employment. I want that kind of America where people are able to come, and if they want to stay, great. If they want to go back to their motherland, that they can, and they can contribute and experience the freedoms that are the fabric of our lives, unless you live in the borderlands now. Freedom is no longer part of the fabric of our lives. Our existence here is our resistance. The government would like nothing more than for all of us to say, screw this, and pick up and move to the interior. The border wall is going to eliminate our direct access to our only source of fresh water. T. Boone Pickens, a Texas oil man and billionaire, said years ago that water is the new oil. And we see what's happening in places like Venezuela, where the government seizes control of the water supply. That's the government's long game here. They will control all of the water. They can turn off all of the river pumps that will be behind the border wall, guarded by a paramilitary police force operating within the United States against U.S. citizens, something that is entirely unconstitutional. And we fully believe that when the wall is built from West Texas to the Gulf of Mexico, that they will put in pipeline, and no one will be allowed to get back there as they did at Standing Rock to observe what they're doing or object to what they're doing and poison our water supply. This is pure, unadulterated pilfering of our natural resources and everything that the people here have come to treasure. Nowhere else in the United States would this be tolerated, much less celebrated by the maggots.
You're ultimately an expert in butterflies, but you've really done an amazing job describing to us what's going on there. How can we donate to the cause of saving the butterflies? How do we stop this wall from being built?
The first thing we need everyone to do is call their senators and call ours and tell them that this state of emergency is completely bogus and that it should not stand. If they want to support us, they can join the National Butterfly Center online at nationalbutterflycenter.org. We are part of the American Horticultural Society's reciprocal admission program. So there are about 400 other botanical gardens and zoos that you get free or reduced admission to across the United States by virtue of joining the National Butterfly Center. If you don't care about gardens and zoos, but you do think what's happening here is a legal atrocity, you can donate to our Legal Defense Fund online or through our GoFundMe campaign as a result of speaking out. We receive threats. We receive horrible messages. We do have people actively trying to sabotage our project and our sustainability. So we appreciate truly all of the support that Americans are showing, whether they care about the butterflies or not, because we have to stand together against this administration and the rape of our landscape and the destruction of our Constitution.
Marianna Treviño-Wright, Executive Director, Mission Texas, Rio Grande National Butterfly Center. You've said it all. Amazing interview. Thank you very much for joining us. And hopefully we'll be in touch soon to hear what's going on there, and hopefully you're turning the tide against them. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, Yo-Yo, Belgium Kim. We have comments of the day.
Yeah.
Sure do. My first one is, you got 2 gray sweaters.
I do.
Yeah, he's got at least 2 gray sweaters.
At least
2. Go for it.
All right. We have one from Asset Lindo on Facebook saying, Kimmy, yes, you back the rose among the thorns.
All right.
Yes.
I like that one. I like that one. Kimmy, welcome back.
Thank you. We had Mikey Star Buckley who said, Brad, you look like the hottest lawyer alive.
Wow.
Right?
Very nice of Michael.
Right?
Okay. Michael likes me.
Mikey Star.
Mikey Star likes me.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Mickey.
It could be. Either way. He thinks you're the hottest lawyer alive.
Okay.
I'm not mad at
I'll
that.
take any compliment I can get.
I was going to say, you're not
All
partial.
right.
You're not partial to your
No.
compliments.
Right. All right, we have one from Carol, the Top Cat Tigers 2 Anderson, saying, nature is so wonderful, and I love it.
It really is. And
Beautiful.
it really is nature. What are you making a face at me for? Because
I want to hear your intake on that.
Kim is laughing at me. I really believe nature is very beautiful, and we need it to sustain not only for this generation, but next generations. Your kids need fresh water. Your kids need fresh air. You need to have wildlife. You need Mother Nature. Carol Lee Anderson, Tiger, you are perfectly correct. We will see you all tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.